I think what's probably unique to the Black Swan is the scale at which we're able to preserve. To my knowledge, I think we are at the forefront of the scale at which we're able to do that for ourselves and the variety. We are very fortunate that we are able to kind of have a team that does that for us, refining the products, improving it year on year. So the Michelin star is a good judge of what happens once the guest has crossed the threshold, the experience, the quality of the cooking, the innovation of the food. But your green star to me really talks about what is happening all the way behind the scenes before they even get to you. Morning, Dickie.
Good morning, Alice. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much. So this is our preservation kitchen, and Dickie, or Richard, is your proper name.
Exactly.
But our head of preservation and foraging and all things production, basically.
Absolutely.
And obviously we're just collecting a few bits that are going on our new beef dish that's going to go live today. And so we've been out foraging all the kind of wild herbs that we can lay our hands on at the minute.
So you've got a few little greens. So we've obviously got the wild garlic that everyone knows. It's sort of in season from mid-February in our little region.
Yeah.
First, the nettles coming up as well. So they're quite, delicate and nice at this time of year. Very quickly, once they start to flower, they become sort of inedible, really.
Yeah.
But, and then cleavers, something that most people probably know as sticky weed. Really, really tasty, packed full of all sorts of goodness.
Yeah.
And it'll form a good bulk of the new salsa verde, I think.
Yeah.
And then dandelions again. I think I've used quite a lot of forced dandelion in the past, which is quite delicate and obviously very light in colour. But this in particular, new growth, really, really soft, really delicate.
Yeah.
And again, will form a big part of the salsa. But it was about 5 years ago now. I was just in here one day and Tommy popped in and it was he was like, "Oh, here's Dickie and his palace of preserves." And it's kind of a bit of an off the cuff remark, and then it's just literally
it is what it is. Yeah.
Become the thing, hasn't it? So yeah.
I think this is the linchpin of why the Black Swan is special, because every restaurant has access to, by and large, the same suppliers, the same types of ingredients at the same type of year. So unless they're doing something kind of wildly innovative with those ingredients at that exact time, the experience of a guest at different restaurants might not be too dissimilar to another. Obviously you'll have the style of the chef show through, but for us here, no one has access to this kind of larder at this scale, at this complexity of the flavours of what we're growing. So if you want this experience, you have to come to us here at the Black Swan, and it's a testament to the work that you and Chris have built it up to, and now the team's a bit bigger. But every year it's just constant development, constant improvement, new products that mean we get to create a menu that's kind of not accessible to people outside of the Black Swan, which is really special. So we've just come back from the preservation kitchen, seen Dickie. Obviously he was foraging for us loads of the foraged herbs that go into this course, but also the beef course that we're going to cook next. So we're going to get started first of all with our artichoke and grains dish. Grains themselves have a load of flavour to them. So what we've done is cook a dish that has a savoury porridge of those fermented grains. So I'm just going to get started first of all, just julienning some wild garlic to run through the grains themselves. At this time of year, it's like a really special product that we kind of wait until it's ready to go on the menu. And in a little while, this dish is probably going to get another seasonal update with some really beautiful asparagus from Thirsk as well. So yeah, so for the grains dish itself, we take the cooked grains that we cooked earlier, so a little bit of chicken stock in there, but also the fermented mushroom juice. We keep the liquor that we cook it in and just reduce it down to a saltiness that we're happy with. We want it to be a really juicy dish to eat, so it's a little mixture of the cooking liquor itself, some butter, some Jerusalem artichoke puree as well. And it's a dish I think that we've been surprised at how strongly positive the reaction has been on the menu, because you think it's kind of made of quite humble ingredients, some cooked grains, a really beautiful hen's egg, and some wild herbs and herbs from the garden, but actually some people kind of take it to be their favourite dish on the menu because it's so savoury. It's quite different to what they've had before. A lot of people have said they've never really had a dish like this, but actually it's got quite humble roots to it. These are the really beautiful hen's eggs that we get from Richard Buffy, the Rhode Island Reds, so we're just going to poach those for this dish. It's already quite savoury. I'm actually happy with that seasoning wise, because that liquor has cooked down and reduced on it really nicely. And then we'll just add a little bit of wild garlic, a little bit of creme fraiche. Coat the hen's egg with a little bit of chicken fat, So the dish starts with the hen's egg right at the centre, then the grains that we finished earlier on, the crumb. So again, this is the puffed grains themselves, so same for barley, spelt, ema and rye. A little bit of crispy chicken skin, some Jerusalem artichoke crisps as well. Just from it, we just touch it with a little bit more of that Jerusalem artichoke powder. These are the nasturtiums that we just picked out in the polytunnel, adding a real nice freshness to it. When Callum got the opportunity to become executive chef, it obviously opened up the position for us here as head chef, and it used to be a bit of a running joke from us always that you're like, oh, you just want my job, you just take my job.
Usurp me. You know, I think me and Alice, we're very yin and yang in a lot of ways, which is, I think, is why the menu is so balanced and just works really, really well as well. I like my kind of big, rich, bold flavours. Yeah. Alice, a little bit more delicate with
sometimes,
stuff.
Yeah, sometimes.
Fair to say, Alice?
Yeah, I think what has been nice with the two of us, you'd always love, should we just a little pork chow or a little bit with dresses with pork fat, which I also love as well. And it's not to say that I don't enjoy eating those food, but I think what we always try and think about is these people are coming to experience a big long menu, and it's not, you know, if people choose a la carte, if they want to choose all the rich dishes they can, or they want to choose all the light dishes, but here we need to please everyone across the same menu. You know,
we're quite lucky we get to speak to the guests at the end of the night and they say they have an amazing time and stuff like that, but it really is a massive kind of community of people that kind of bring it to where we get to here, really.
Yeah, so now we're just going to quickly sear the beef on the barbecue before it's going to then cook in the oven, just really nice and slowly at a low temperature into beautiful seasoned beef fat. For us, the menu, we don't do like a seasonal menu, so you won't come here and have our spring menu or summer menu, whatever. It tends to be that a couple of dishes change every couple of weeks. The wild herbs now that are kind of waking up for us, that's helped us force off from a fallow deer course that we had, but now wanting to get this beef course on the menu. Sometimes it comes down to literally just either something more exciting is coming into season, or we're coming to the end of some of our preserves or something that we're growing on the farm, just getting dropped into some herb infused beef fat. So then we're just going to take to 45 degrees in the oven and then rest it.
Yes. So it is long time no see, okay.
The rib eye itself is what we're serving as the kind of the cuisson on the plate, but then we want to utilise every part of it. So the rib cap we take off and we treat separately. It's been marinated in a beetroot and horseradish koji, so just seasons the meat but also begins to kind of break down those proteins, really deepens the flavour of it. That's just been slowly cooked, and then what we've done here is just portion it. It gets finished on the barbecue. As it comes off as well, we're going to coat it in some blackened beetroot glaze. So a really simple product is actually pretty much 99% blackened beetroot. We just season it a little bit with some vinegar and sugar and salt just to kind of balance it out. Then we'll give this another kiss back on the barbecue just to help those sugars caramelize on the outside of it as well. So we're going to start now with our salsa verde that goes with the new beef course. So the base of that is just a really slowly cooked white onion puree. So I'm going to pop that in. And so then we're going to go in with our forage herbs, so some nettles, a little bit of dandelion, some wild garlic as well going in. And then finally, just to round that out, a mixture of lovage and parsley as well. Then for our seasonings going in this dish, we've got our own horseradish leaf oil, wild garlic flour vinegar that we saw again down in the preservation kitchen with Dickie, and then a little bit of Dijon mustard in the background for heat. Yeah, so we're happy now with the consistency of the salsa verde, so we're just going to strain this now through a chinois, but doing it over ice. We've got all these green herbs in here now, we wouldn't want them to discolour. So now we're going to plate up the Dexter beef course. So we've got the ribeye itself, it's been barbecued and then just slowly cooked in the beef fat, the rib cap that's been on the barbecue and reglazed, and then we're going to put that together with our salsa verde and also our smoked beef fat potato. Hits the plate is our salsa verde, so a really nice drop quenelle of that. We're just dressing it with our nasturtiums, some of our foraged herbs as well. Finally then, coming onto the plate now is the ribeye of the Dexter beef. We're going to finish it with the rib cap. We've also puffed some beef tendons to sit on top of it, so a really nice light cracker, almost a bit like a quaver, but dusted with fermented mushroom powder. We're going to be finishing it with a smoked beef fat potato puree. And then we have our Dexter beef, foraged herb and smoked potato.